Grace and peace, y'all. I hope everyone's feeling blessed today. All right, let's talk really quick about the dangers of holding on to people in your life instead of allowing them to grow and become who they need to be. Now, the first thing you need to know is that that is not God's design, and that is heavy living in survival mode because you're using them as a form of validation. So that's the first thing you need to know. The second thing you need to know is that we all have our own specific path, and we cross paths with others as soul contracts. Look at it as just an exchange of information, even if it's just to give comfort or validation on where you are. That's the only purpose of us really crossing paths. Now, if we are heading in the same direction and our paths align, you usually stay aligned a little bit longer than most. That is like growing up with a sibling. You kind of are aligned until you start living your lives separately. Or maybe even having a partner where you're growing together, and if things start to not work out, you go separate ways. But that is what life is supposed to be like. We're not supposed to hold on to each and every person that comes into our life because it just feels comforting and validating to who we're trying to become. Now, when your paths are supposed to separate because you need to go in this direction, the other person needs to go in this direction, and you decide to purposely hold on to each other, now it becomes endless procrastination. It becomes its own cycle where you can't get things done because you're too busy trying to keep somebody close, and they can't get things done either because they keep leaving their path. This actually causes a huge hindrance on your soul's development. Now, here is where the issue, therefore, lies with us as a human race because we're taught to hold on to people from a very young age. That family values means you value family. And you can value someone without having to take yourself off your path, without having to stop your elevation for their sake. Now, when it comes to us growing into who we need to become, this needs to happen. So the mindset of trying to hold on to each other needs to be dissolved in order for everyone to grow collectively. As you allow someone else to be on their path, knowing that it's not an affront to you that they no longer have closeness. And when I say closeness, I just mean in each other's energy, because you can still be close in that distance. What can happen is you can catch up with that friend, and even though you're not seeing them every single day of your life and not speaking to them every day of your life, it does not mean you're not valued. And when we start to understand that that does not diminish our value, holding on to things, accumulation does not equal to value, we really can get on track individually. And we all can start growing and elevating as a team. So I hope this was helpful for someone. Is there anyone in your life that you're holding on to, or that you want to hold on to, or maybe that you're holding a grudge against because they didn't hold on to you? Then maybe you need to let go because it was for their own growth and development, and it could have very well been for yours as well. Love and light, and peace.